Welcome back, everybody. It is about 7 minutes before the top of the hour. Millions of people use the internet to express themselves freely and oftentimes anonymously. But a lot of online posts are hateful. And now sites like Google and the Huffington Post are requiring people to use their real names if they want to comment. The question we're asking today, is that fair? Let's get a fair and balanced legal debate now. We're joined by defense attorney Jonna Spilber and attorney Richard Roth. Good to have you guys here.
Good morning.
So we've done things publicly, so we tend to, raise the bar when it comes to people attacking us. And I sometimes read these things and just go, if this person put a name on it, but I never do that, of course. But Jonna, what's your feeling about this?
It's about time, for starters. And like you said, Julia, when you're in the public eye, you're going to have people who love you and you're going to have people who hate you. And the problem is the people who hate you are fewer, but they're louder. And when you get to post things anonymously online, they can say the most hateful, vile, defamatory things, which isn't protected by the First Amendment. But now the target has no recourse because we don't know who, I eat trolls for breakfast is or whatever their screen name is. You can't find them. You can't get to them. Now there's an opportunity to do that if they choose to be hateful, vile.
Yeah, I tend to disagree. There's a difference between the legal obligation and the practical implications. On the legal side, absolutely, the private company can do it. They can restrict you from commenting. They can make you put your name. On the practical side, however, there are companies out there that want to hear feedback, but you're not going to do. It's going to stifle. Yes, you're going to get rid of the obnoxious people.
Feedback's not real without a real name attached. You criticize the Italian restaurant across the street. How do you know it's not the Italian restaurant who's competing for their business?
That's not true. If I work for Google or Microsoft and I'm an employee and I see there's a defective article, Popular Science, for example, has gotten rid of all comments completely.
Then put your real name on it.
I put my real name on it, I could lose my job. It could certainly have negative implications on it.
And what happens if that does happen?
Well, then how mandatory is it in your world to post online that you got a defective product? Big deal. And that's really not what we're talking about. We're talking about the people who say vile, offensive, hateful things. They shouldn't be allowed to be anonymous doing it. Say who you are or don't say those comments.
The problem is, though, when you restrict, you restrict. You're restricting everyone. So, yes, I agree. There's no question, the vile, immature comments should not be on. But when you're restricting that, you're restricting everything. For example, Popular Science, as I mentioned, has no comments. Google wants a name. I agree with some kind of a moderator to allow certain things on, but to restrict everything does prohibit speech. It's whether it's allowable, but practically it does prohibit that person from saying, you know what, this article's wrong.
How are we restricting when all we are saying is, look, instead of saying that you're, whatever screen name you want, you have to say that you're Richard Roth. I have to say I'm Jonna Spilber. If you're going to say anything, good, bad, or otherwise, what's wrong with that?
The answer is very simple. The answer is that you go through the chaff. The people that are obnoxious, that are immature, that are crazy, you get rid of that.
I'm going to sound like I'm a crazy person, look like I'm a crazy person. Wrap this thing up. Thanks, guys, for joining us today and waking up early with us on a Saturday.
Thank you, Julia.
All right, coming up, millions of people use the internet to express themselves freely, and oftentimes, it doesn't really work. Actually, this is not what our... We're going to go to a commercial break because I just read that to you about 5 minutes ago.